After 5 years of marriage, I was finally pregnant. Just as I was about to share the good news with Wesley, I heard my mother-in-law ask him, "When do you plan to tell Sarah? Sophie is already showing. Our family line cannot be broken. Wait a little longer. Give me some time. I'll handle it." I leaned against the door, silently putting the pregnancy test result back into my pocket. "Wesley, your promises are worthless." When I found out there was someone else in Wesley's life, I wanted to tear him apart, but after calming down, I hired someone to investigate the woman. Sophie, a fresh-faced college student, an intern at his company. 6 months ago, Wesley took his project team to the south for negotiations, and they slept together. The private investigator told me it was a trap set by a competitor. They had intended to photograph Wesley with an escort, but Sophie stepped in and resolved the huge problem. Afterward, Wesley offered her money, but she refused. Then, in a cliché twist, she found out she was pregnant. How could my good mother-in-law allow the family bloodline to be lost? She took her under her wing. I had been wondering why Wesley had been so busy the past 6 months, often rushing off to the company halfway through dinner. Even on our wedding anniversary, he was working overtime. Thinking back now, he probably wasn't working overtime but visiting another home. I was sitting at home when Wesley returned. "Honey, pastries from Yes Bakery." Wesley walked in carrying a food box containing Yes' signature egg yolk pastries. I glanced at it, then looked straight into his eyes. "Wesley, there's something I want to discuss with you." "What is it?" He sat beside me, wrapping his arm around my shoulder, smelling the faint scent on him. I curved my lips into a smile. "Let's get a divorce." Wesley immediately turned my body towards him. "Has someone been talking nonsense to you?" "No, it's just, we haven't had children for so long. I don't want your family line to end. So, I want divorce." Wesley refused immediately. "Sarah, I love you. I only want you." My heart felt heavy. "Wesley, how can one heart hold so many people?" "But Mom has always wanted a grandson. I've delayed you for 5 years. I'll talk to Mom. Just focus on taking care of your health. It doesn't matter if we don't have children. Worst case, we can adopt. I know some girls who get pregnant out of wedlock and can't afford to raise the baby. Don't worry, I'll handle it." Wesley finished speaking and pinched my cheek. "My wife doesn't need to suffer the pain of childbirth." I leaned into his embrace, listening to his heartbeat, feeling no panic at all. Wesley had calculated well. He most likely wanted to bring that child back to the family for me to raise. "Funny, it's not like I can't have children. You forced my hand." I didn't mention children again but started following Sophie. She had resigned and was settled by Wesley in a villa in the south of the city, with a nanny to serve her. She really loved to share, exposing corners of the villa and various luxury goods on social media. 4 months pregnant. The gold jewelry my mother-in-law gave me. I said I didn't want it, but she insisted. I had to accept. My mother-in-law is so good. Hubby says this child is the hope of the whole family. I'm the family's great hero. Looking forward to sunbathing with him. A family of 3. The latest post was a photo. A man with his arm around her sitting in the garden sunbathing, one hand resting on her belly. Only a hand was visible, but I recognized it. Wesley was truly bold. He forgot to take off his wedding ring when he was with her. He must have been carried away with joy. That ring was custom made by me. I registered a burner account and commented below. "Are you Mrs. C? Heard you haven't had children in 5 years of marriage. Finally, your wish came true. Congratulations." When I refreshed, the post was deleted. I put down my phone and smiled. "So, you also know that being a mistress is shameful." This little episode didn't make Sophie restrain herself. She added me on WeChat. Seeing the friend request, I clicked on the profile picture. It was a lazy cat with a villa room in the background. Wesley didn't like small animals. I once wanted to raise a cat for company, but he forbade it. He even claimed he was allergic. But with Sophie, any principle or bottom line could be broken. I accepted the request. The other side immediately sent a message. "Mrs. C, I'm not here to break you up. I just want to give birth to this child. Life is precious." She couldn't wait to tell me she was pregnant, sounding so righteous. I didn't reply. She got a bit anxious. "Mrs. C, everything I said is true." By now, I had saved all her Weibo photos. I didn't miss a single clue. After doing all this, I replied, "What did you say? You're pregnant. Is it Wesley's?" She seemed anxious on the other end, typing and deleting, finally saying, "Sorry, I thought you knew. No need to play these little tricks in front of me. Having a child is your business. Whether Wesley acknowledges it is his business, it has nothing to do with me." She didn't reply again. I scheduled an abortion surgery and asked my lawyer to draft an agreement. In these years of marriage, Wesley and I were the model couple in our circle. There were no scheming girls throwing themselves at him, nor any wealthy heiresses trying to win him over. I thought I married for love. I didn't expect Wesley to deal me such a heavy blow, creating a life outside. The lawyer was my best friend, knowing I wanted a divorce. She was shocked. "Sarah, are you possessed or did you hit your head? He has someone outside, 4 months pregnant." Instantly, my best friend exploded. "Where's my knife? Wesley really knows how to act. I'll stab him to death." I quickly stopped her. "Forget it. He's a rotten cucumber. Not worth it." "But is the party at fault? I want more money." My best friend looked at me for a long time before hugging me. "Sarah, cry if you want to. I'm here for you." I couldn't cry. I didn't know what was wrong. I just felt waves of stabbing pain in my heart, as if something had been uprooted, leaving a bloody hole. But when the pain reaches its peak, tears don't come. "Jenny, I want a divorce. I want half his assets." "Okay, I'll help you." An hour later, I returned to my parents' home with the divorce agreement. Learning that I wanted a divorce and Wesley had a child, my parents' faces turned dark. "Sarah, do whatever you want to do. Mom and Dad will always stand behind you. As for the child, make your own choice." My hand covered my lower abdomen. There, a small life was already nurturing. If Wesley hadn't hidden it from me, our family would definitely be immersed in happiness now. I had made my decision. My parents respected my decision and let me handle the divorce myself. If the C family disagreed, they would step in, leaving my parents' place. I went to the hospital for a checkup. There were some precautions before the surgery. While waiting to pay, I saw my mother-in-law taking Sophie to the VIP ward. Possessed by some impulse, I followed them. "Sophie, I told you, Wesley has you in his heart. Why do you keep overthinking?" Not telling her now is just to stabilize her. "The N family still has cooperation with us." The voice coming from the crack in the door disgusted me. I couldn't listen anymore and turned to leave, but I bumped into Wesley at the end of the corridor. The moment he saw me, he was visibly flustered. "Sarah, why are you here? Are you feeling unwell?" His face changed so quickly. My gaze fell on the pregnancy test report in his hand. I remained silent. Wesley realized something and quickly explained. "It's an employee's. She fell today and almost miscarried. I brought her here for a checkup." "What about you? Why are you here?" Wesley didn't know that when he was flustered, his fingers would unconsciously rub the hem of his clothes. I smiled faintly. "I came to visit a friend. She's hospitalized." His face visibly relaxed. "Where are you going?" "I'll drive you." "No need. You're busy. After all, she's an employee. Don't let rumors spread that the C family mistreats subordinates. If she miscarries, it would be our fault." Wesley froze. Before he could speak, I had already left. Exiting the hospital, I took a deep breath and went straight home. I packed Wesley's things and had someone send them to that villa. This was my turf. Even if someone had to leave, it would be Wesley. Sure enough, an hour later, Wesley returned and rushed to me impatiently. "Sarah, I can explain." I put down the chicken soup and faced him. "Wesley, do you know, I gave you 3 chances. The first time, the day you returned from your business trip to the south, you had a mark on your neck. I asked, and you said a stray cat scratched you. The second time, I said I wanted to divorce you because I didn't want your family line to end. You said you didn't care about children and wanted to spend your life with me. The third time was today. You said she was an employee, and as a boss, you couldn't sit idly by." I sighed. I admit I'm not that generous to watch my husband have another family outside. "Wesley, we're over." "No." Wesley was clearly panicked. He hugged me tightly and wouldn't let go. "Sarah, I love you. She was just an accident. Mom has already agreed to keep the child but not the mother. Once she gives birth, I'll make her leave. I won't let her hinder us. Trust me, Mrs. C can only be you." I patted Wesley and struggled out of his embrace, then handed him an agreement. "I don't believe you unless you give me all the assets under your name. I have no child. Only you. You have a family and a child outside. How can I trust you?" My preparation silenced Wesley. He glanced at the voluntary gift agreement and explained hoarsely. "Transferring company funds might not be appropriate, then divorce." "Wesley, I can't tolerate sand in my eyes. You can't bear to part with me, and you can't bear to part with money. You can't have all the good things." I took out the divorce agreement again. Wesley tore it up without looking. "I promise you, I'll give it all to you." He hugged me tightly. "Sarah, I won't disappoint you. Once she gives birth, it will be over there." I sneered. Over. He was too naive. Sophie came from an ordinary background. Wesley was the ceiling of men she could reach. How could she easily end this relationship? Unmarried and pregnant, willing to be a mistress. Her subtle show of affection on Weibo was evidence. Wesley acted quickly. 3 days later, he found a lawyer and gave me all the assets. He even gave an extra 10 of shares. Hearing this news, the hospital side exploded. Just after Wesley finished signing, he was called away by a phone call. "Sarah, there's an emergency at the company. I'll accompany you when I get back." "Go ahead. It's okay." I magnanimously saw him out. Immediately, I grabbed my bag and went to the hospital too. Before the surgery, I went upstairs specifically to look at Sophie. She huddled in Wesley's arms, tears streaming down. "Wesley, I'm scared. Are you going to leave me?" Wesley patted her back while comforting her. "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I won't leave. Sophie, this is my first child. You are his mother. No one can separate us." Strange. I, who couldn't cry for a long time, still felt my heart ache endlessly upon hearing these words. "Wesley, one shouldn't be too greedy." Lying on the operating table, the doctor asked me one last time. "The surgery is about to begin. Are you really sure?" "I'm sure. Let's start. I don't want this child anymore. I don't want the child's father anymore either." Coming out of the operating room, my face was pale. My parents were heartbroken. There were dozens of missed calls and WeChat messages on my phone, all from Wesley. "Sarah, where did you go? Why aren't you replying? Sarah, where are you? Speak. Sarah, what's wrong with you? I'm back, waiting for you at home." I contacted my best friend and asked her to modify the details of the divorce agreement. Then, I sent a WeChat message to Wesley. "I'm going out with my parents to relax. Don't worry, I'll be back in a week." Wesley replied quickly. "Okay, I'll wait for you." I sneered. "You won't be able to wait." After being discharged, my parents sent my luggage home. I turned around and listed the house with an agent, selling it at a 20% discount. With such a big commotion, how could Wesley not know? He just dared not ask. When I had fully recovered, it coincided with Wesley's mother's birthday. My mother-in-law called me in advance, asking me to attend. "I don't know what Wesley likes about you," insisting on finding a woman who can't bear children. In the past, I would have swallowed my anger, but now that I was getting a divorce, why should I give her a good face? I immediately sneered. "Can't help it. Wesley just likes me. Maybe he's a masochist." "What did you say?" My mother-in-law raised her voice. I hung up directly. I knew she would complain, but I didn't even want Wesley anymore. Was I afraid of her complaining? However, I would go to the birthday banquet. Not only would I go, but I would also deal a severe final blow to the C family. My best friend drafted the divorce agreement for me. Wesley used overtime as an excuse again. I considerately said I would go by myself and told him not to worry. Turning around, I found traces of him on Sophie's burner account. This time, Sophie was bold. She posted a side profile of Wesley with the caption, "Finally, standing with him, tonight, as his family." So bold. I sneered and took a screenshot directly. I organized all these, packed my luggage, and moved back to my parents' home. The house payment also arrived. "Wesley, take your family and enjoy it." At 8 p.m., Wesley found out I had blocked him. At the same time, I released a divorce statement on a public platform, pointing out Wesley's infidelity. 5 years of marriage. Thank you for the care. For the rest of my life. Never see you again. P.S. 20 shares for sale. Contact me if interested. Instantly, the whole internet was in an uproar. Wealthy family divorce war. Without advance publicity, I almost missed the big gossip. What's the situation? Divorced just like that. Cheating. 5 years of marriage without children. It's normal for a man to cheat, right? Damn. If there are no children, you can divorce. Cheating within marriage, getting a mistress pregnant, and wanting the wife to raise the mistress child. Would you be willing? I recognized the speaker. It was my best friend. She couldn't stand it and helped me denounce the scumbag online. I laughed. It seemed I was still loved and cared for. Then my comment section was flooded by netizens. 20 shares. Can't imagine how rich you will be in the future. Most wealthy marriages don't have true love. It's just an alliance. Why take it seriously? Since you were willing at the beginning, it means you accepted that both sides play their own games. Now you want true love again. Are you kidding? They dated before. You forgot how sweet it was back then. Wesley even rented the city's LED screens to confess publicly. You all have amnesia. Let me see what this mistress looks like. Someone followed the clues and found Sophie's social media account. She was at the C family home and didn't have time to delete it. Getting caught red-handed. Someone said she was a mistress last time, but the news was deleted quickly. Didn't expect it to be true. So arrogant. knowing she's the other woman and still acting like one. This girl looks like a pure college student. Can't compare to the original wife at all. As the saying goes, outside shit smells good if you haven't eaten it. Used to eating delicacies. Occasionally trying wild vegetables is a different flavor. I was undoubtedly number one on the trending list. I ruined my mother-in-law's birthday banquet. When Wesley returned, he found the house empty. He smashed the villa door, but alas, the house had changed owners. Seeing him smash the door, the homeowner called the police directly and had him taken away. I even sent reporters to follow him thoughtfully. The news of Wesley being taken away by police that night spread across the internet again. The C family urgently issued a statement claiming we had long been separated. I laughed. Fortunately, there were surveillance cameras in the villa before I released the video, exposing their lies. My mother-in-law called me. Sarah, you want to destroy the C family. Wesley just wanted a child. What mistake did he make? I looked at the supplementary information sent by the private investigator and said calmly, so, you set him up. How? How do you know? The project in the South was them begging the C family. Why would they get Wesley drunk? Your hands weren't clean enough. The cleanup wasn't done well. My mother-in-law was speechless. I hung up and blocked her number. She changed numbers to scold me. I exposed her too and called out to Wesley. Remember, she destroyed my home with her own hands. I knew Wesley would definitely investigate. As long as I released a little clue, with his ability, he would definitely not miss it. The C family was besieged by netizens again. Mrs. C usually attends charity galas and looks kind. Why is she so mean and harsh? Appearance comes from the heart. Those eyes look like she's not a good person. Experienced it in college. Back then, Wesley dated a junior from the economics department. Just as it started, Mrs. C sent someone to warn her and even mocked her as a small-town test taker. Rich people are arrogant. A rotten cucumber. Really thinks he's some hot cake. Wesley and Mrs. C became targets of public criticism, bombarded by netizens in turns. Mrs. C had to turn off her phone, and Wesley was overwhelmed. Reputation collapsed. Stocks fell again and again. I sold my shares directly to the second shareholder. Wesley completely broke down. After issuing the divorce statement, I sent my parents abroad for a trip. I rested at home alone, leaving all divorce matters to the lawyer. If Wesley looked for me, I wouldn't see him unless it was for divorce. A week later, my best friend contacted me, saying Wesley wanted to talk to me about the divorce. I agreed readily, cleaned up, put on light makeup, and went directly to the law firm. When I arrived, Wesley appeared. Not seeing him for a few days, he looked much haggard, visibly more tired, with dark circles under his eyes. Sarah, his voice was hoarse when he spoke. It seemed he had talked a lot in the past 2 days, so much that he had no strength left. He sighed. I really didn't expect you to plot against me to this extent. He had previously asked the lawyer to give me all the money. Now that the company's stock price had fallen, he couldn't come up with that much money at all. Watching helplessly as the shareholders pushed him to a dead end, I raised the corners of my mouth. This is the price of your betrayal of marriage. Wesley, I gave you 3 chances in a row, and you didn't grasp any of them, so you shouldn't complain about me today. If there's no problem with the agreement, sign it. I made adjustments. He was the party at fault. I made such a big fuss just to make him leave with nothing. Wesley didn't expect my hatred for him to be so deep. After taking all his assets, I wouldn't even give him the last bit of money. I wanted the car, the jewelry, and those antique paintings. I made a list. Seeing the agreement, Wesley suddenly laughed, grabbed it abruptly, and tore it into pieces. Sarah, you are driving me to a dead end. What good does this do you? I shrugged. Lots of benefits. I can become a rich woman and live well without relying on a man. Besides, I paused for a few seconds. I just want to vent for my child. He looked up at me abruptly. What child? I was pregnant, the day I found out. I wanted to tell you, but I didn't expect to hear what your mother said to you. You said, give you some time to handle it. Sophie can't be stimulated. Hearing this, Wesley trembled all over, looking at me in disbelief. It took him a long time to come back to his senses, while I stared at him. If you still have a conscience, give all these to me. I aborted the child. I didn't want him to be born and find out his illegitimate brother is half a year older than him. Wesley, you understand what I mean, right? Although one cannot help oneself in a wealthy family, I don't want my child to face that situation. Fighting for family property with an illegitimate child. I know you would definitely side with me, but I don't want that day to come. After all, it's very undignified. I glanced at him. He had visibly lost a lot of weight during this time. Presumably, the company was giving him a hard time, including Sophie. I had people watching her all the time. Sophie was stimulated by netizens scolding and went directly to the hospital to protect the fetus. Until now, the C family hasn't given up on her. In that case, I had nothing more to say. Let them divide the property as soon as possible. I didn't want to be involved with these people anymore. Wesley wiped his face with trembling hands and asked me with red eyes, "How could you be so cruel? That was our child. I am his father. Don't I even have the right to know?" I raised my hand and slapped him abruptly. "How could I be so cruel? How could you be so cruel to hold me and lie to me while snuggling with that woman? You are not qualified to be the child's father." I handed him Sophie's chat records. "Look, she is fearless. Just because she is pregnant with your child, she treats me like this." Seeing those records, Wesley broke down. He didn't expect that I had known about his scandal long ago, leading him into my trap step by step. I wanted to use his last guilt to leave him penniless. Now I took the opportunity to bring the divorce agreement. I made many copies. "Sign it. Let's be dignified, Wesley. From now on, we go our separate ways." "No, Sarah, I know I was wrong, but do I have a chance to turn back?" I shook my head. "No more. Your whole family lied to me. I won't believe you again. Let's part on good terms. Otherwise, when I sue, it will be even bigger. You know my temper." Wesley knew that 8 horses couldn't pull me back. When I was in school, I had a relationship. After discovering the man cheated, I broke up directly. When he pestered me, I had someone beat him up. After that, he never dared to come to me again. Now facing Wesley was the same. During our dating period, I told him that if one day he was unfaithful to me, I would absolutely not want him anymore. Wesley knew my temper, so he dared not bring Sophie to me. However, after I found out, he should not hold any hope. Now all my actions showed that I hated him more than I loved him. Wesley didn't want to say anything more, only sighed. "No, giving everything to you. The C family is finished, and the company is finished. I can't let the C family's industry be ruined in my hands." "Then sue." I glanced at my best friend. She nodded. There was no need to stay and talk nonsense with him, so I stood up to leave. Wesley refused to give up and held my hand. "Sarah, is there no affection left between us?" I pulled my hand back forcefully, just staring at him without speaking. Wesley understood everything. There was no possibility between us anymore. I turned and left. According to my best friend, after I left, Wesley stood there for a long time without leaving, squatting on the ground, crying loudly. If he knew today would come, why did he do it in the first place? "Sarah, you must not soften your heart." "Don't worry, I won't soften my heart. I have never been as calm as today." My parents came back a week later, hearing that I was going to sue. They couldn't help sighing. Wesley was doing fine but had to court death. Now it's great. The whole city and internet are discussing it. What a bastard. "Dad, Mom, don't worry, I will absolutely not turn back. He wronged me, and I don't want a rotten cucumber. Just treat everything as a dream I had, implicating you." With things reaching this point, our family was also dug up by netizens. Don't know if it was the C family's response. They also started buying internet water armies to slander us, but without evidence. The more dirty water they threw, the more evidence I released. Later, the C family dared not act rashly anymore. My mom hugged me with heartache. "Mom isn't blaming you, just feeling that their family doesn't know how to cherish. You did so much, and in the end, you still have to fight a lawsuit." I knew Mom felt sorry for me, but regarding the lawsuit, I struck first, appearing directly on the internet, informing everyone again. Instantly, Wesley broke down even more, finding a mistress but refusing to divorce. Such a scumbag who wants to have his cake and eat it too. Couldn't lift his head anymore. I mailed the child's pregnancy test report and abortion information to Wesley, hoping he would give me feedback after seeing it. Sure enough, just 3 days later, he couldn't stand it anymore and contacted me actively. "Sarah, I agree. Consider it accumulating some merit for the child." On the day of getting the divorce certificate, Mrs. C also came along. "Sarah, you are really ruthless. All our C family's money went to you. After being husband and wife, you treat him like this. Don't you have any guilt in your heart?" Before I could speak, Wesley stopped her. "Mom, don't say it. I did it voluntarily." Wesley blocked Mrs. Cis abuse. I raised the corners of my mouth and approached her. "When you calculated against your own son, making him suffer, betraying marriage and loved ones, did you ever think this is your retribution?" Mrs. Cis' face flushed red. "You." I turned to leave. Wesley wanted to say more but was tightly held by Mrs. C. "Don't chase her. Sophie is still in the hospital. Since you have divorced that woman, marry Sophie immediately. Just leave me alone." Wesley threw her off in exasperation. I didn't want to care about how they argued afterward. Anyway, this matter had little to do with me. However, I didn't expect Wesley to pull himself together. Mrs. C sold the old house, quickly realizing a sum of funds, and then sold her jewelry to help Wesley tide over the difficulties. But the vitality was greatly damaged after all. The C family gradually declined and couldn't keep up with the pace. He and Sophie were together in the end, but they didn't get a marriage certificate. Sophie was considered official. She continued to share her daily life on social media. I took a look. Her complexion was quite good. 2 months later, I attended a banquet with my father. This time, Wesley happened to come with Sophie too. Only 2 months had passed. I was still radiant, but he seemed to have changed into a different person, becoming more silent and gloomy. Sophie beside him had been hospitalized several times to protect the fetus, and her complexion was not as good as before. Seeing me, a trace of resentment flashed in Sophie's eyes. In a place where no one noticed, she came to my side. "Sarah, you're really something. I thought you were true love. Didn't expect you to deceive me so badly. You took all his money. I'm living much worse now. You women are so cruel. Wesley was deceived by you. Heard you found quite a few male models after the divorce. You promiscuous slut." I glanced at her. This is the price for his betrayal of marriage, isn't it? However, getting so much is also thanks to you. Every time you posted a photo, you provided me with evidence of his cheating. She was furious. Anyway, now I am the woman by his side. Really, you better guard your position well. After all, no one likes a woman with a big belly, especially someone like Wesley. He could cheat once. There might be a second or third time. Sophie was stunned, then glared at me fiercely, clutching her belly, about to scream. I grabbed her neck. "You better not play any tricks in front of me." The ruthlessness in my eyes scared her. I threw her aside. Just then Wesley came over. "What's wrong?" Sophie looked like she was about to cry. "Wesley, my stomach hurts." "Don't blame her. I couldn't help coming over to say hello." I sneered. President C. In this situation, don't swagger through the market with a mistress. And don't let the mistress provoke me blatantly. Otherwise I can't guarantee what I will do. I looked her belly up and down. Wesley immediately turned to her. "What nonsense did you say?" "Wesley, I didn't. I just wanted to apologize to her." I silently took out my phone and played the recording. Hearing the voice, her face turned pale instantly. "Don't play this kind of trick in front of me in the future. Disgusting. Wesley, your taste is just like this." After speaking, I turned and left. Wesley's face was extremely ugly. Later, I didn't see Sophie again at the venue. Heard she was kicked out by Wesley. I exchanged greetings with everyone following my father. People hit on me from time to time. Divorced and holding Wesley's entire fortune, I had joined the ranks of rich women. Some busybodies inquired privately how much compensation I got in total. I smiled without saying a word. I deserved this money. As for the future, with those pure young men available, would I want these old men? On the way back, my dad sighed with emotion. "Didn't expect your divorce to receive so much favor. Do you know how many people asked me about you tonight?" "Dad, your daughter doesn't worry about marrying. But these people have ulterior motives. Coming for my money. I don't want them." My dad certainly knew. "Okay, if you meet a suitable one, handle it yourself." I nodded and was about to speak when I saw Wesley face to face. He was standing in front of my building, cigarette butts all over the ground at his feet. It looked like he had been waiting for a long time. After I got out of the car, my dad looked at him and said in a deep voice, "You two talk. I'll go in first." For a moment, only the two of us were outside. Wesley broke the silence. "Sarah, I know you are not like that." "Sophie, it's just due to pregnancy hormones. Emotional instability." "Sorry, just, do I still have a chance?" Even now, he still wanted to reconcile with me. "We have reached the end." Sarah, never eat grass that has been chewed back. You know that." He opened his mouth and looked at me with a face full of sorrow. 5 years of feelings. "Sarah, you are stronger than I thought. Do I really have no chance anymore? We had a child between us. I want to compensate you. Can I?" "What about Sophie? Once she gives birth to the child, I will send her away." I sneered. "Wesley, do you think I'm not disgusted enough? I have no choice. My mom, since you are willing to listen to your mom, and you also know your mom schemed against you, why do you still do this?" Wesley lowered his head. "But she is my mom. I have no choice, so just live well with her. No need to disturb me again. Betraying marriage, betraying family, betraying our love. I never give him a chance again. Go. Never come to me again from now on." Hearing me say this, Wesley was stunned on the spot. not expecting me to be so unfeeling. Standing here talking to him was already the last dignity I could offer. He probably didn't know my mood and wanted to pester me again. I turned my head and shouted sternly, "Stop right there, Wesley, don't force me to act against you again." Operating for so many years, the C family wasn't without gray industries. I happened to know a little, just didn't want to kill them all. He staggered 2 steps and smiled bitterly. "I knew you wouldn't forgive me again. You hate me, hate my betrayal." "Sorry, Sarah." I shook my head. "I don't hate you. Similarly, I don't love you anymore." The opposite of love is not hate, but forgetting. I planned to forget him. Wesley's face instantly turned extremely pale. We had a 5-year relationship. Before that, we dated for a year and successfully got engaged and married. We were once a model couple in the circle. Wesley spoiled me to the extreme, loved me to the bone, but still betrayed me. I thought the child was a little angel given to us by God, but he couldn't wait. The past need not be mentioned again. The biggest feeling I gained from this marriage is not to consume myself internally. Since we missed each other, then we missed each other. After that, I didn't pay special attention to him. Half a month later, my best friend told me Sophie had a miscarriage. Hearing this news, I couldn't help but be shocked. Wasn't she protecting the fetus? Yes, but she failed to force marriage and threatened suicide. Unexpectedly, she went too far, rolled down the stairs, and miscarried directly. Now the last hope is gone. She's really useless now. Wesley originally kept her because she had a child in her belly, but unexpectedly, she was so disappointing. Now that the hope was gone, there was no excuse to keep her. I treated it as a joke, but I didn't expect Sophie to be more formidable than I imagined. Using means to climb into Wesley's bed again. Only this time she wasn't so lucky. Wesley sent her directly to be locked up for 2 days. Seeing them again was 3 months later. I was accompanying my best friend to try on wedding dresses in a shop. I saw Wesley and Sophie entangled outside, with another man dragging Sophie and refusing to let go. A love triangle. Through their quarrel, I learned that Sophie had a toy boy outside. Wesley supported her, and she used this money to support the toy boy. But after the miscarriage, the toy boy pestered her for money, otherwise he would expose her. Sophie was annoyed to death. Now seeing Wesley, she grasped the last hope and wouldn't let go. The 3 entangled in the street, becoming a laughingstock. Seeing this melodramatic scene, I couldn't help laughing. It seemed God didn't want me to be deceived either. Wesley was also punished for betraying the marriage. Now divorced, we had nothing to do with each other. When the farce outside ended, he turned his head and met my gaze. He opened his mouth, but in the end said nothing, turned, and walked away dejectedly. Across the street corner, I watched him cover his face and cry bitterly. There is no medicine for regret in the world. I will never turn back.